Alrighty guys, Jason here from Biker Bytes, and I thought I'd do a quick video of the kit I take on an overnighter when I'm out motorbike camping on my KLR650. So all of this stuff you will have seen before if you've watched any of my previous camping videos. There's nothing new here that you wouldn't have seen in the last video I did when I went to Paraguayan National Park. Okay, so where shall I start? Let's start with the important business first with tent and sleep system. So here is my Outrack one-man tent. One person, comes in at 1.92 kilograms. So it's pretty lightweight, packs down really small, and has proven to be a really good tent so far. In terms of sleep system, I have an Outrack Peregrine sleeping bag that goes down to 3 degrees centigrade. So here in Australia that is plenty warm enough, and this is clocking in at just over 1 kilogram. Again, this has proven to be a really good sleeping bag, and in fact on the couple of trips that I've been out using it so far, it's been too warm. So in combination with the sleeping bag, to cater for all temperature swings, I also have a Cedar Summit Thermolite reactor which can slide into the sleeping bag for those colder nights, and I also have a Sol Escape bivvy which would go on the outside of the sleeping bag to even give another layer of insulation. This is reflective on the inside, so yeah, 3 layers. And obviously depending on the climate, the weather conditions, I can add, remove, or whatever. Combination should see me through. The previous trip I had, I think I only needed to have this because it was so warm. But during the winter months, inland it can get pretty darn cold, so I can imagine I'll be using at least 2 of these sleeping items. Right, so that's the tent. I have a 3x3 meter tarpaulin. It's green on one side, reflective on the other, so I put that down first on the ground. After I've cleared the ground, put that down, and then I pitch my tent on the top. Now once the tent is up, I have a Static V lightweight sleeping pad. Now this is pretty darn comfy, and it doesn't take an awful lot of puff to blow this up, and it's really good, and it's really light and packs down really well. And here's also my pillow. I got my pillow in there as well, another inflatable item. The only problem I found with this is deflating it to get it back in there can be a bit of a chore. It can take a bit of effort to squeeze all the air out the various chambers and so on, until you can roll it up satisfactorily to fit in there. But then again, you know, it's worth that bit of effort. What next? This thingy here, this is my chair. Now this is the most recent item that I bought, and you would have seen this in my last video when I was at Paraguayan. This is invaluable. The first trip I did, I didn't have a chair, so I was lying on the ground and shuffling about and on my side and getting all achy and everything. So I bought that chair, and it was a godsend. It is so comfortable to sit on in the evening when you're having a beer and looking at the stars. It's an invaluable piece of kit, and it weighs next to nothing. So yeah, just had to find the room to put it in my bag, and yeah, well worth it. Here is my rain gear. So this is a waterproof cape that I put on, very lightweight, backs into nothing. These are Dry Rider rain pants, so I would only be wearing this in bad weather if I happen to be caught out in a rainstorm or something like that when traveling around. This item here is my motorcycle cover. So this completely fully covers the motorbike from top to bottom. So yeah, I pop that on at night to stop any condensation or rain or whatever getting on the bike overnight. And also, if I've still got my packs on the bike, it covers those up nicely and protects those from the elements as well, so I don't have to bring them into my tent, because my tent is only a one-man tent. It's small, and to fit my packs in there as well would be a bit of a squeeze and quite uncomfortable. Okay, smaller items. This is just a foam pad, useful for just sitting on or kneeling down on if you need to do some work at ground level. Some few bits and pieces. This is a Bear Grylls full Tang knife. Yeah, it's a bit cheesy, I know, but I got it for a good price, and I also like the fact that it's orange and it's easy to see. It comes with a flint and steel, but I haven't really used that. But it's a good knife. It's by Gerber, full Tang. It's quite heavy. So yeah. Here is just a saw. Works really well for cutting up small branches and wood and so forth for the fire. Torch, multi-tool, spork and knife. I think these are titanium, really light, good stuff. Flint and steel, some paracord, bike lock. Now this is my cook system. Just basically consists of 2 pots and obviously the stove. The stove obviously fits in there like that, and inside this can double as a small pan. Inside I have my gas, and under that Sea to Summit cup, and that's the stand for the gas, and that's a cleaning pad. So that all goes in there like that. Fits in there nicely. And with that I use a concertina type screen to shade it from the wind. Now because this is metal and reflective, it works really well with the gas, keeps the heat in, and you can boil a full pan of water here, in less than 5 minutes. It's really good. Now the way I light this stove is with my flint and steel, and I'll show you that now. There we go, couple of tries, bit of a knack to it, but works every time, so I don't have to take matches. Alright, so a few minor little bits and pieces. Obviously I'm taking a GoPro, I've got a digital watch, a little bag of accessories for the GoPro such as memory cards and spare batteries. GoPro, I don't know, I guess you'd call it a selfie stick, but you know what it is. And then this here is a thermometer, a clock and a voltmeter for my bike battery, and also USB charger. So this just goes in here like that. There you go, 1335, and it's 28.6 degrees. So I can charge straight off that. Obviously I've got my phone and charger and my trusty Baofeng UV5R radio. So that's Citizens band, and it's also 2 meter wavelength as well. But also it doubles as a radio, to keep me company if I want to listen to some music. So that's really good. Head torch, very bright, very useful. So that's how I illuminate at night when I need to do some fiddly stuff or whatever. Normally I don't have a light going full time. I just sit out and, you know, just enjoy the night. A beer cooler, stubby holder for my beer. I normally take just a couple of bottles of beer with me, and I think that's about it, folks. I'm sure that is it. Now the only things that I haven't laid out here is obviously food and water. Now for food, my first trip I took dehydrated stuff and it was rubbish, so for my other trips I'm taking canned food, and that just heats up in there, no problem at all. And of course I don't need water for that, so the water that I do take, I'm taking for drinking, and there's nothing better than having a nice cup of tea. So what you can't see is the food, the water, and also clothing. Now I travel really light in terms of clothing, particularly for an overnighter. Spare change of undies, socks, light shirt, long pants, and depending on the time of year, possibly a warm jacket. And that's pretty much it, and probably just a pair of light shoes to just muck around the campsite with, as opposed to heavy boots. I'll take a pair of heavy boots, heavy walking boots, if I plan on doing any walking. Alright, I think that's about it. I think that covers it all. Total weight, couldn't tell you. It all packs really nicely in the KLR luggage that come with the bike, just the standard stuff. I do have a giant loop waterproof bag that I've not used yet, basically because I've been able to get all of this stuff into the KLR luggage, but I am going to invest in some side panniers and some proper bags, because I know that they will eventually give out, especially over rough terrain. Alright guys, well if you've got any questions, give me a shout, hit me up, and I'll be glad to answer them. Hope you found this video useful. And I can hear people in the background. Yes, it's my daughter. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this video. Biker Bytes over and out.